On the proverb, what you need to understand is there's a ton of math and measuring involved. So I want to make sure that you clearly understand the handout and how you measure a proverb. So aside from figuring out what you're going to say, what you want it to be, we'll figure that out later. Today I just want to go over how you measure it, because in the first stages I said find a clever saying or proverb that was 18 to 30 letters long. That's an estimate, okay? That's just an estimate. What we're looking for is exact measurements in the end. So if I did the phrase wolves won, okay? It's not a proverb, but we're going to use it for measuring purposes. On that handout that you got sent in Canvas, it gives you all of the measurements. So I'm going to expect you to kind of watch that and follow along. It should have lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and spaces, all listed with heights and widths. Right now we're worried about the width only. We're going to talk about the width. So according to that handout, your left border and your right border are both 1 inch. Okay, so we have to account for that. So we have to put those inches on there. The space between words is 1 inch. Okay? In addition to that, we have a capital W. How wide are capitals according to that handout? How wide are capital letters? 2 inches. So the W gets a 2. Now, look under the lowercase letters. It's got L's, I's, T's, J's. They're all really skinny letters, right? They're only ½ an inch. And then you have M's and W's, which are extra wide, which would be 1.5 inches. All of the other letters are 1 inch. So help me go through this real quick. How wide is an O? 1 inch. L? Half. V? E? S? W?
2, 1.5.
1.5. It's not a capital. The capital's 2. This is a lowercase, so it's 1.5. The W and the M are 1.5. O and N. Okay, so we've got our borders taken care of, our space between the words taken care of, and now we've measured our letters. Have we got all of our width of our paper accounted for? No. What are we lacking? What are we missing? We're not going to worry about the height today, just the width. Are we missing anything in between the letters themselves? Shouldn't there be spacing between the letters? I mean, you don't crush them right up against each other, right? There's a little bit of space in there. What's the spacing between letters on your handout say? 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to show you the easy way. We're going to hit the easy button. Anybody want to not hit the easy button? We can write down 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and write it in between all of the letters. Or we can simply do some counting. How many fourths are in 1 inch? 4. You guys ready for this? 1, 2, 3, 1 inch. 1, 2, 3. 3/4. So right down here, I'm just going to put 1 and 3/4. I've accounted for that spacing. I know when I set up my paper, they each have to have 1/4 of an inch. Right now, we're just trying to see how wide it is. We're measuring it. So if we add up all of this information we've just accounted for, we should know how wide our paper should be when we cut it, right? We've got our borders, we've got our space between words, we have our space between letters, and we have the letters themselves. We've got it all figured out. So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 3/4. So our total, we would be 14 3/4 for our total length of our paper. And that's how wide we would cut our paper. Okay? Now let's go back and talk about the height for a second. The height is going to be one of two heights. It's either going to be 5.5 inches or 10.5 inches. And here's why. When you set up your paper, if you know you have one line of text, we're going to make that text line 3 inches tall. Because how tall is a capital letter? 3 inches tall, 2 inches wide, 3 inches tall. So we have to have our text line support a capital letter. It's the tallest thing that would be on the line. What's our border on the top going to be? How tall is the border up top? 1 inch. And then we said the sides are 1 inch. But the bottom is going to be 1.5 inches. Why would that be wider than the top border? Why would we leave an extra 1/2 inch down here? Okay, on that list of letters and their measurements, you have ascending letters and you have descending letters. Okay, what's a descending letter do? What do you think they do? They go down. For example, if we had a line of text right here, an A and O, they sit right on the line, don't they? But a descending letter like a G, they go down below the line. Or a Y, they go down below the line. Or a J goes down below the line. So this part right here will get absorbed in this 1/2 inch extra, leaving us our normal border down there below. Everybody understand that? Okay, so this is one line of text. 1 inch, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So one line equals 5.5 inches. 2 lines, we would have to have a whole nother set of 3-inch text. So it would be +3. And what's the space between lines? It's on your paper. 2 inches between lines of text. So we would add 3 inches for the line and 2 inches for the space, which is 5 inches. So 2 lines would be 10.5. Okay? So that's the height of your paper. Regardless of how long it is, one line is 5.5, 2 lines is 10.5. You will have to measure it like we did the other stuff to figure out the width of your individual problem. Okay? That's what we need to do today, is practice with those proverbs and start counting letters. It's no longer 18 to 30 spaces. Now it's how many inches. And how long is our paper? 24 inches. So no line of text, whether it's a line and 2 lines, one of your 2 lines, or just your single line of text, they cannot be longer than 24 inches. That's the maximum. Okay? All right.